What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes. And today, the topic is questions are the answers. Oh, now, what does that mean? This is actually something I listened to this morning while driving, but it's also something that I've mentioned many times in previous videos. Maybe not a dedicated video to it, but in passing, in a lot of my videos, I've mentioned something along these lines. And questions are the answers came from, believe it or not, Tony Robbins. I think his content is amazing, and a lot of it is something that applies, at certain phases in your life. But having said all that, questions are the answers means you have to ask if you want something to change, and not even just change, maybe even to reflect on or to alter your current state. It's to ask questions, and not even just your state. If you're going to ask, if someone's asking you for advice, this is what I'm actually not so good at, and am trying to improve here, is instead of giving your opinion or what you think is right, it's best to ask the other person a question and let them come up with an answer for themselves. And he puts it in a very good way that if I tell you to do something or I give you my opinion, you can always argue that. But if you come up with a solution or an answer to your current problems, it's very difficult to argue something you yourself bring up. So that's a very good way to not only deal with problems, but to assess certain things that someone may even suggest for you, or even if you're just trying to make a change. And what does all this mean? Because I always like to tie things in with crypto, right? And fair play to I consider, he is like an older brother to me. And we were talking about some project that I've been on. I'm not going to name it because we have to see how that plays out. But I'm heavily into it, and he's waiting on the sidelines. And I mentioned to him before, just that, I'm in it. I'm listening to the AMAs. I'm in their Discord. I follow their Twitter account. Any which way that I can gain some information and do some research on them, I'm in it. I've done it. I feel comfortable. And his answer to me was, or his response to me was, "Hey man, I think you're too deep into it." And fair play, right? Like that made me question too. Am I too deep into it? I mean, the first thing I want to do is, and I did do, was get a little bit defensive to a certain degree. I'm like, listen, you're not into it enough. And it's always easy to ask questions or poke holes when you sit on the sidelines. That's the easiest thing to do. Can you make a decision with imperfect information? That's the key. And that's not a shot at him at all by any means. He asked some very specific questions that should be asked. So fair play to him for that. But here's the thing, is that you got to ask questions while you're on the sideline. You got to ask questions. What is this? What is crypto all about? If you're not already in it, if you haven't been researching it, you need to question why people of high intelligence, high influence, and hopefully a combination of both are in it, are spreading the message, and not a message to gain wealth for themselves, which they already have or are in the process of doing. It's what is it that they're trying to get across? And same thing for me. Like, I think this is the biggest, balancer that we've ever seen in terms of financial balancer. The financial tools, the financial opportunities that you can get from crypto is like nothing is available in the stock market, real estate, nothing like that. All right, a lot of financial tools that are there for the masses are subpar compared to what is available for those with money. You look at real estate, the highest amount of, the prime real estate, you need to put down a lot of capital to get into it. Now, with crypto, there are certain things that, obviously if you have like NFTs, for example, if you can spend 6 figures and buy the Bored Ape Yacht Club or a Mutant Ape or a CryptoPunk, that's fine, right? That is similar in that regard. But for everything else, whether you're looking at decentralized finance, you're looking at certain tokens, all this stuff is typically available in traditional markets for those with wealth. But here in crypto, you can actually make wealth, generational wealth, being from an average person. even below average in terms of financial, means that you have. It's a possibility. Nothing is guaranteed. Obviously, it's not financial advice or investment advice, but this is an opportunity I've seen. This is an opportunity I'm in. And so you always have to ask questions. That's what's going to get. So if you're against it, ask a question. Why are you against it? And answer it properly. Did you do the research? Have you spoken to people who are in the field? Are you so far removed that only headlines that mainstream media gives to you is what you read and make decisions based off of? If you are into it like myself, as you know, my brother mentioned to me that I'm too deep, is there a problem with being too deep? Does anybody ever say that you're too deep into real estate, or you're too deep into the stock market, or you're too deep into finances? Nobody says that. But now all of a sudden we're too deep into crypto. So, but I have to ask that, am I too deep? Or am I too deep in this project? Maybe that was what was meant. So these questions, I can't be blind, and I can't make decisions based on bias. But I can make decisions based on experience. And if you're not too deep in any sector, you won't get that intuition, you won't get that gut feeling that comes from being all in on a space or a sector. That's not going to happen. I don't care what career, I don't care what industry. You develop that sixth sense, that gut feeling when you've been all in. So that's the takeaway here, is questions are the answers. If you are uncertain about something, you know what, even if you feel certain, I feel certain about my opinions about crypto and Bitcoin, especially, of where it's going to go long term, but it does not hurt to question it. And then maybe some different answers will come up that I didn't actually even expect. So I want to leave that with you guys. That's something that happened to me yesterday, reinforced with Tony Robbins today, and also has been my mindset from the beginning. Just question things. Here's what I will say though. One last thing is, do not question to the point where you don't take any action. Okay. For me, here's what I say is that action equals education. You'll only know if something is true or not true if you put in some skin in the game, right? It doesn't mean put in all of your life savings or a significant amount. Crypto is the best place to do this because you can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, $15 worth of Ethereum or Ether, $5 of Sandbox. You don't have to buy one whole token of anything. Whatever you like, get your toes in and just explore and see, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? That's the type of questioning I want people to do. It's not to sit here on a soapbox like I used to do, give my opinions based on articles, or just random research or things that people say. Like, get in there, get some experience, and then formulate an opinion based on that, and then test it, right? Question your own experiences, question your own, I wouldn't even say question your experience, question the conclusion you came from that experience. What's perspective you gained from that? Is that the right lens that you should be looking at the world or this project or this space? And then just kind of evolve as you move along. So for me, apparently for Robbins, and for anyone that I come across, questions are the answers. And that is the best way to give advice. That is the best way to look at your own situation. And that's the best way to look at crypto in general. So guys, remember, tomorrow never comes. Question crypto. Wholeheartedly question it. Is it right for you? Is it not right for you? That's going to lead you to do the research. And whatever the outcome is after that, at least you did the research. All right, guys. Have a good one. Tomorrow never comes. Get in the game. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.